I think we are live. Yes, we are finally live. I'm here for the after launch party of my book, Being is the New Doing, and I am here with Kim Parkinson. And today we're gonna talk about voice, spiritual insights to infuse our voice, and probably podcasting too, because Kim is a podcaster and she's helping spiritual people to release their find their voice and release their podcast. So Kim, you will introduce yourself, please, because it's much easier for you to talk about yourself.
Thank you, Valerie. Thank you for being here. Again, congratulations on your new book. I've been loving it. So amazing. If you guys have not gotten it, you need to. It is literally like your encyclopedia. Mine's on my Kindle, but still your encyclopedia to sit on your desk. So I love that. So, yes, I am a podcast growth strategist, and I help spiritually aligned women entrepreneurs launch and grow their podcasts so that they can be heard and they can share their wisdom, their knowledge, and call in ideal clients to their programs, coaching, whatever it is that they need to call them in for. So that's what I do in a very small nutshell.
I love that. I love that because we had I found you or you found me, I can't remember, on Podmatch. I think I found
Yes.
yes, I found you. And it was, yes, such a great feeling to spend this time with you. And I have the feeling that I knew you for, my whole life. And I was thinking, how is it possible? This woman is lives in the other part of the world, but I have the feeling that it immediately connect during the interview,
Yeah.
and at least at my side.
Yeah.
And I think we were, spiritually supported during that time.
I agree.
And yeah,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tell me, Kim, what the most common stuff that your or barrier that your clients have when they have to talk about themselves and their wisdom and share this inner knowledge.
Yeah, the very first thing that I find typically is a woman will come to me with an idea, a podcast idea, and they will present to me all these amazing interviews that they're going to do for other people. They're going to share their clients' information. They're going to share their friend's story. They're going to bring all these people on. And I typically have to stop them and say, no, we need you to tell your story. They're very unaware until we talk about it that they need to be the ones that are the forefront of their podcast. And it's funny. I did just talk to a client the other day, and I said to her, "It will just click one day. You'll realize it." And she said to me just yesterday, actually, in our call, she said, I was doing a solo episode, and sure enough, it just clicked. I immediately knew, and I just calmed down, and I was in a better place. And it's when they can start saying their own words, when they can share. It's There is a little bit of a blockage sometimes in that throat chakra, and then they get it out, and it's beautiful. So believing in yourself, and maybe having that person that's aligned with you to believe in you as well. And I'm very sorry about the
Yeah.
dogs.
No, don't worry. I have a cat, and lately I had the sun just in front of my eyes. So, lives are not meant to be perfect.
Yeah.
And yes, I just posted 1 hour ago about our live, and the thing is that in French, voice is the same word, the same pronunciation. So it's voix, and it means your journey, your way, your pathways, and there is word, this word pathway, which is voix, and voice, which is voix too. So it's for me being able to share your truth is about being aligned on your right track or with yourself. And how do you help them to realize that? Because usually, and spiritual people are supposed to be aligned and aware about their inner voice and inner truth and so on.
Yeah. I think that sometimes they're so giving.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, again, breaking that little barrier that they might have, right? So getting them comfortable. Sometimes it's me just sitting in the room with them in the Zoom room and them finally realizing how they can utilize their voice. And sometimes it's a questionnaire. Sometimes it's me asking them questions
Yeah.
like, what what is the most important thing of that you do? What do clients ask you all the time? How can you share your story and your path and your modalities? And it's when that comes, then I think their intuition starts to take over. And then
Yeah.
they really just settle into it, become more aligned with it and more comfortable. It's a comfortability too, right? I think
Yeah.
that's a big one. Yeah. It's
Yeah. And
it's kind
and
of
and can you are you able to feel in your body or in the energetic field that their intuition is here, or they feel it, or how do you notice that?
yeah, actually, when they send me audio, I can hear it in their voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Because our
Yeah.
voices are what like the doorway to our, to ourselves, everything that we know, our knowledge and everything. And when they are unsure and they're just maybe reading a script, sometimes that happens. They write a script and then they're just going to read
Yeah.
it. They sound very robotic and they don't sound very comfortable, that type thing. But
Yeah.
then when I maybe say, let's try an outline and maybe a couple sticky notes or something, just to remember what you're going to talk about, then all of a sudden it's like that's when you start to hear the inflection. You can feel the calmness come over them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will tell them just do a small little meditation beforehand. Breathe, do some breath work, just settle into it, and then just pretend you're talking to a friend. Because talking to yourself, if you do a solo episode, can be a little awkward the first couple of times. You get used to it, but can be like, I'm just talking to myself in this room. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And do you know if they call their guides or invite their spiritual guides in the room when they record their episode? Because I love to do that. I love to ask for some support when I'm talking. Is it the same for her or?
Yeah, I think, whatever works for whatever type of spiritual woman you are. Now, I
Yeah,
help women that are priestesses, that are oracle readers and tarot readers and astrologers, but I also have clients that are ministers and pastors in the Christian faith. So
yeah.
I help a lot of different women in that. And then I also do have some corporate clients that aren't anything like that. So but
Yeah.
it's all the same. It's the relaxation beforehand, knowing, I mean, you should know what you already are going to say, but sometimes it helps to have that outline just to be careful, or
Yeah.
just to be aware so that in case you do get lost. And then, the other thing I always do tell them is when you are recording, you do not have to record it all in one. You can leave big spaces and edit that out. It's okay. Especially if it's
Yes,
just a blank space. That's so easy to cut, put it together.
of
Yeah.
course. I just edited my Monday podcast, the French one, this morning, and I had someone at the door, and I was, oh my God, are you joking? Oh no, are you kidding me? I'm recording a podcast right now, and just I leave the blank. It was so easy to come back. And even when you do a video podcast, it's okay as well, Okay, you don't look the same or you're not sitting the same way, but it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what transitions are for. That's exactly why transitions were made.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, actually, that's the definition of a transition.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
so as long as you
yeah.
have a good one in your back pocket, if you're doing video, then you can do that anytime. So, yeah, and easy to use usually, even in Canva.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yeah, really?
Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
could edit a video podcast in Canva and you totally use a transition there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, why not? Oh, I can remove this script. I can cancel my subscription. One less.
Yeah,
I love to do the edit part there, especially this. I don't add some visual stuff, and so most part of the time. So it's the
yeah,
easiest way for me.
yeah. I don't typically do video either, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's okay. I don't mind it
What?
either.
Yes. Whatever. Actually, whether it's by video or audio, that's okay. Do let's choose the media that suits our the best.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing too, if you did do video, then definitely transition it over to an audio because there are different listeners on an audio podcasting platform than there are with video. And that even is video, YouTube, Substack, or even Spotify. Those all do video right now.
Mm.
I know Apple's getting into it, but Apple is mainly still audio. And in a lot of platforms, there are different listeners, there are different people on both of those platforms. So having the ability just makes it more widely. And you didn't even create the content again, you just created it once. So,
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing, and I move my I don't know how to say. I upload my podcast today. I put my podcast on Substack. I remove the other one
mhm,
because it's free here, and it's so easy to do it. So it's easier. I used to use OSHA, but yes, this one is really Substack is really easier, yeah,
yeah,
for me.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what would you say, because when they have this throat chakra, let's say constriction,
Yeah.
um, would you recommend to start with an audio or video or
Love that. Okay. Yeah. So I definitely see a difference here. There are definitely women out there that are very comfortable on audio. And I'm sorry, on video, very comfortable on video. If they feel very comfortable on video, then I recommend starting there. If they've been doing reels for their business or they've been maybe a speaker up on stage at any point or any kind of summits or anything like that, definitely stick with video and start with that. If you tell me that video scares you and you're like, no, thank you, obviously we're going to just stick with the audio and start there. And then, funny enough, a lot of them do end up recording a couple of videos along the way just because they do get the more comfortable. But start where you're comfortable, and everybody's different. So that's my suggestion.
yeah. And do they do they feel in their body the moment they are aligned with their words and what they are saying? Can they feel in their body this transition to the right place from where they express themselves?
Oh, I think so. I think so. As a podcaster yourself, and I'm a podcaster, I think you get that, you've recorded a couple of episodes, and this doesn't have to be for podcasting. I can even just say, if you've never done a live on Facebook or Substack or Instagram or YouTube, this is all going to be the same thing. If you have done it a couple times, all of a sudden you just click play or click live or click record, whatever it might be, and you take that deep breath, and it's a settle, and then you say, who you are, where, what they're listening to, and then it just starts the conversation. It also helps, I will say, it also helps if you have someone to bounce an idea off of, or you and I had that conversation about AI. Even if you use your friendly chat and you use them to just bounce an idea off of, they can really come forth with maybe some things you didn't think of, but you still know it. You
Yeah.
still know the content that you are putting out there. And that is comfortability. That is settlement. That is your intuitive guide coming through and saying, I am now delivering this. Women out there need to hear it. And when that happens, you can talk about your community, you can talk about your services, you can talk about your memberships or your courses, and it doesn't feel awkward because you're giving so much value that your audience doesn't even realize and just says, how can I? How can I get more of her? How can I get into her world? And
Yeah.
that is, yeah, it's a comfortability and an intuitive settlement. It's just a alignment. You can feel it. This goes right straight
Yes,
through.
I actually, when you are talking about that, I can feel it
Yeah.
something settling in my belly. I don't know really what is happening here, but usually when something feels right and so on, I have some goosebumps and or chills or electricity somewhere in my body. But here, my belly is so calm and settled, and I can feel that something like when you say that, you are grounding
Mhm.
myself to talk. And then I feel that my voice is more from the inside than from my throat. I
Yeah.
don't know if I am clear.
Yeah, no, it is. It's an inner feeling, an inner
Yeah.
wash. We've all been there. Well, hopefully we've all been there, right? Where we have had that amazing yoga practice, or we've been practicing our meditation, and you just open your eyes and you feel light and calm and just settled. And that is what we aim for when you know that what you're speaking comes from within, comes from, and you're delivering it to the world. And that's my goal for all women when they want to speak, because we don't say enough. We don't share enough. So we need to share more.
Yes, and the world needs this, our inner truth, why we are this, I'm gonna say it, not the why we are here, but the special gift we are here to share with the world.
Yeah.
So yes, why we are here. Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody has
Um,
the same stories. Not everybody has you could teach transformational coaching, and the next person could teach transformational coaching, and the next person could teach it, but they're all different. Everybody's
Absolutely.
different because
Yeah.
your stories aren't her stories. And I think that is the beauty of people, women, of us. And I think when you finally realize that your story is worthy of sharing, is worthy of putting out there, that is that's when you've settled, right? That's when you're like, "Ah, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm moving forward." I kind of say it's like an elastic band. You have to pull it back just a little and then you
Yeah.
go
Oh, I love
forward.
this one. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
great. Yes. Such a good metaphor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see behind you, you have some, I think, some essential oils or
Oh,
crystals, or I'm not sure exactly. Yes.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do you use it or advise people to use it to help find their voice or improve it or
Yeah, so these oils
yeah?
here are actually a client of mine, Emerald Temple. I will drop that little name there for anybody, and they are holy oils made by a priestess, and I will actually use them in my meditations.
Yeah.
Now, every month she holds a gathering and she teaches you how to use one other one every month for free too, by the way. And but it is a way that I also use incense and crystals. I have like a whole little altar right here in front of me
Yeah.
that you can't see. I use a lot of that to ground people to make
Yeah.
sure that they're
Yeah.
feeling more comfortable with their voice, more comfortable within themselves. So yeah, we'll use those too. Yeah. It's depends on
And
the person.
so you work online mainly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So because it's all about energy and those invisible stuff as well that are here that we share in the same space, being in different country and so on. But do you think, or yeah, I know the answer, but yeah, my mind wants to ask, do you think that, crystals or, essential oils or whatever, and incense or work behind, yes, this online connection?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I had a tea reading on Monday from a woman. Now, I live in the Boston area, so if you know anything about the United States, it's the kind of top right side if you're looking at it. And this woman was in Nashville, so more middle of
yeah,
the country. And she said to me, your energy is coming through so clearly. She had tea leaves for me, I had my own tea leaves, and she was like, this is the best tea leaf reading I've had in a while, especially for someone online. I definitely 100% agree that, and it could be me. I don't know. I think we've talked about human design. I'm a projector, so I'm very good at sending that out to the world. And I feel like I I instill calmness. I instill grounding. I instill a sense of just total well-being within people. And so I definitely think whenever I have my crystals out, whenever I am using the incense or the essential oils, I definitely think that it's being shared and they feel it. I can tell they feel it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was asking because the very first, it was, before COVID. I switched a part of my business to the online. I was very lucky at that point, or I received the insight, I don't know. But I guide future life progression, and yeah, so it's progressive hypnosis.
Yeah.
And the person were in France, so it was very far from here, and I can feel that we were sharing the same space.
Yeah.
And I do some online healing as well for entrepreneurs, but I never use crystals and essential oils. I tell them, oh, I received information, you should use this oil and this oil or this crystal and so on for this and that. But I never use it, to heal just right here between us. So, but
Yeah.
of course, it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, of course. I feel like it's in some cases, sometimes they can't get a hold of theirs, or maybe, I mentioned I have corporate client, they don't partake in that always, or maybe they're in the office or whatnot.
Yeah,
So I'm at least, protecting my energy and calling it back. That's important. You can send your energy out to everybody, but make sure, even if you do have that direct channel to the person you're working with, you need to make sure that you take that back at the end so that they're not taking that off from you. You pull it back
Yeah.
in for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think you could definitely use that in your practice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I never thought about it, but yes, of course,
Yeah.
it is. And when I record a podcast, I always use this one.
Oh, beautiful.
So
Oh my gosh, look
yes,
at the sacred geometry in that. That's beautiful.
yes. It's like a crystal ball,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I love to have it. It put harmony. It helps therapists and healers to put harmony and so on. But yes, it's yes, sacral geometry. I can't remember the name. Flower of life or
Yeah,
something.
it might be the flower of life. Didn't see
Yeah,
the, yeah.
yeah. And let's talk about a little bit about your intuition. And so, how do you receive it when you are with your clients? How do you know? Okay, you can hear in their voice when they have recorded the podcast that it comes from the right place.
Yeah.
But within yourself, how does it work? From where does it come? How do you know what it is? Or
Oh my goodness. I think, to be honest with you, so I mentioned human design, but I'm also a Scorpio. So I'm very intuitive. So I
Ah,
think it is a little bit of intuitive hit for me. I think that's what makes me a little bit more unique than maybe some others, but I can definitely feel it. All of a sudden, it's like I can hear their smile. I can hear their eyes light up, even if I am not with them here, like through a live or through a Zoom call or anything. I can hear it in their voice. There is something. You know what? I think that's an excellent exercise for anyone. I think
yes.
try talking without smiling. Try talking without smiling and seeing how that actually sounds.
Oh no, I don't feel like I want to do that. I can't. It's so
Right?
hard.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. But when you're happy and you're smiling, it's so for me, when I'm listening, I know that they've got it when I can hear that smile in their
yeah.
voice. Yeah,
Oh, sometimes stuff in our lives makes sense at one point.
yeah,
And my first student job, I was a telephonist, so I was working online on the phone because internet was not there, so
yep.
no video, just phone calls.
I
And
remember the
the
dial.
yeah, me too, same generation. My God.
Yeah, yeah.
And there, the boss used to say, "I want to hear your smile in your voice."
Yes.
It was so hard, at that point because I never realized that I'm meant to talk. I was 20, I was shy, I was answering the phone for other people and companies and so on. So I have to sound professional. So yes, it was, and today I realize that that's why I keep smiling when I'm talking.
Yeah. Because you're happy because it's lighting you up. You are here, talking to amazing people all day. Yesterday, too, right? Yesterday and tomorrow?
Yes, yesterday,
Yeah.
yes, and tomorrow and Friday as well.
Nice.
And
So all
yeah,
these amazing people you've brought together, however you've met them, all talking about, just being sacred, being spiritual, everything that your book talks about too. So, of course, we should all be happy and smiling because the alternative is to be sad and glum. Who wants to do that?
yes, and so um, what does it mean? Totally another question.
Yeah,
What
do
does
it.
it mean for you to, be in your doing? How do you embody that?
How do I be in my doing? Yeah, so I definitely take time out every day for myself. I have to. Um, whether or not that is journaling, whether or not that is meditation through, an insight timer or something like that. I have a little mini farm where I have 20 hens, and I adore sitting outside and watching them, do their little chicken things. We have a couple of, I'm very animal. I have two dogs and a cat too.
Oh,
So I've got a lot of animals. And of course my kids, but they're older. They're men now. They're no longer kids. But I really feel like commune with nature, because I'm going to say the animals are a part of nature, right? The
yeah.
crystals I have in my room, part of nature. The like I have a granite desktop, part of nature. Like I just really feel like that is what makes me more part of myself, to make sure that I am staying aligned and staying on track, and making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. The reflection, the meditation, the thoughtfulness. Yeah. Yeah.
And when you do that with your hands, do you feel more aligned
Yes.
immediately? Yeah.
Of course it does, right? It's right there in the center. I guess unless we're, talking old school, walk like an Egyptian or something.
Oh my God.
A
So we
little
are
bangles
definitely.
action.
Are you? How old are you? My God, we have the same reference: the phone and
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
what a
It was
banana
the
rama
bangles.
or
Yeah, it was the
the
bangles.
Bengals. Yes,
Walk like
yes,
an Egypt- yeah, yeah. Or I think it was actually like this too.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm over 50. How's that? So
Okay. Yeah, that's me too. Yeah.
Gen X, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Gen
But
X, but I really feel like I'm a Gen Y. Y
why?
before X is Y. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I'm a Y. I'm sure.
oh,
That's something I know. Or my soul is young or old. I don't know, but I'm not a X for sure. But
yeah.
I am. But I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
firmly believe I'm Gen X. Like I grew up right in the midst of it. I'm not an older or a younger. I'm right in the middle. So I've been there for
Yeah.
a while,
Yeah.
and I love the fact that I can throw in the little like rotary phone. Who hated having a 999 number? You can't call that a
Yes,
hundred
I
times
can.
fast.
Yes, and yeah, okay, no, let's not remember all the good stuff of our youngest day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really such a pleasure, to talk with a fellow 50.
Yeah. Yes.
Did you watch the live yesterday with Daniel?
I did not. No, I can go back and do
Because
it.
you will, yes, go back, because you will love. He's a homesteader, so he's not a farmer, but he have 350 species in his land. So, and he works with permaculture and biodynamics and stuff like that. And then he applied all the principles of nature and organic ways of being to his own business and own life. And I think you will love to
Yeah.
watch this replay. Yeah.
I'll definitely go and look. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
fascinated by people that are trying to find new ways to use or use the earth in the way that it was meant to be, as far as reuse, recycle, and just regenerate. It needs to. So don't be mowing your lawn before the butterflies come out because their eggs are still hatching, that type thing. But on the other hand, I let my hens free range because my dogs don't need ticks, but my dogs don't need medication for ticks because the hens are taken care of. So that's kind of like the
Yes.
natural part of using the earth that I like to bring.
Yes, and we are organic livings too,
Yeah,
so, and beings, so we are part of nature, and we have our own rhythm, and our cells have their own process and life.
yeah.
So we cannot change that.
No, we need to take care of Mother Earth. I mean, there is, the the lack of bees, we need to take care of that. There's so many different pieces. Everybody's got their own little piece that they want to, but ultimately, let's just, agree that she needs to be taken care of in order for our species to continue on. And, I really feel strongly about making sure that my little plot of land that I have about an acre of land, and I make sure that that is well taken care of in a
Yeah,
very natural and organic way. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I have a small garden, and I'm so looking forward to, plant seeds and see them
Yes.
growing, because it reminds me, and each spring is the same. Yeah, so it was so snowing 2 weeks ago, so it's a little bit too
Oh.
early, but now it's getting warmer.
Mhm.
So I think I can plant some seeds, and I love to observe, the way they grow, the rhythm. When you think, a tomato or a strawberry, because they are kidding with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when they are red, you think they are okay to be eaten, and
Mhm.
but inside they are still white,
Yeah.
and not they don't have the real taste. And so it teaches us to be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. We also do a garden every year, and there's a lot of tending love that goes into it, and a lot of, in patience, right? You can't.
yeah.
I mean, sure, I guess people do eat green tomatoes. I'm not one of those people, but there are people that
No,
do.
I can't. Oh, no, no.
I think they made a whole movie out of it, fried green tomatoes. That's what.
Ah, yeah. Oh my, one from the 90s,
Yeah,
90s,
see,
I
I'm still
think.
going way back there.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, but I feel like we know when that sun-kissed look is. And that's probably an even, you know, how do we know? How do you know when you go out to the garden and you're looking for a tomato for dinner? How do you know which one is the right one? It's an intuitive hit. You like look at it and you're like, I remember maybe from past seasons, or this one just feels right. This one just looks right. And you can pick it right
yes,
up, right?
yes.
You know that that's right.
Ah, I love that, because it's a great way to teach a kind of intuition, because I think there is so many ways that intuition can show up,
Sure.
but it's a great way to teach it, actually. So, yeah,
Yeah,
good.
because it's just a matter of like, yes, and it's an easy trial and error, right?
Yeah,
So if you
yeah.
pick one and it's not right, you're just like,
No, and,
okay.
and the thing is that if it's your own garden, you don't have you don't have tons of tomatoes or strawberries, so you feel like, oh my God, I missed one.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and the thing is that I love strawberries and tomatoes so much that I'm always sad when I don't pick up the right one.
I
So,
know. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
So
that sounds so, yeah. Go on.
how has your book been going? How how's that been?
Ah, okay, so yes, the lunch was great the first days, and then I stopped looking at the sales and the numbers,
Understood.
and I think it's a little bit slower than what my marketing team expected, especially because some of the earlier readers don't play the game, didn't choose to play the game, and didn't leave a review, so they had a hard time to, push and follow up to get some reviews. But
Mhm.
it's coming, and
Um,
that's really great that it's coming. And we are trying some different long tactics, because the thing is that this book is in the middle of so many categories. So it's not a business book, it's not a woohoo book, but it's
Yeah.
in between. It can sound woohoo for some people, or not, tangible or grounded, but it's it is grounded and tangible because it comes from experiences, my experiences, the one from my clients. So yes,
I feel
but
like that's true. Yeah,
yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of people now that don't realize they need the woo.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that they don't realize that they are probably already doing some woo stuff, but
Yes.
they
You
are,
got it. Yeah.
because we are all intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
I was this earlier this afternoon, because it's 6 p.m., past 6 p.m. here. Earlier this afternoon, I was with a client and she said she lost she was crying. She lost her faith and intuition over the last year. And at one point, she was talking, and I don't know from where she was talking. And she was so grounded in her sovereignty, in her own power. And I asked her, where does this come from? And she said, I don't know. I feel so good when I'm sharing that. And I told her, it's your soul or your inner truth talking right now. So you don't lose anything. It's just another way, because you had this silence, or what you call silence, is your upgrade, because you were here doing this like that, and today, to live the way and what you are meant for, you have to upgrade something in yourself, and for that you can't access the old way anymore. And it
Mm-hmm.
was the way life showed you that you have to step aside and walk another path in another way with another program, and software and so on. And then at that moment, she stopped crying, because she felt so relieved that it's still here, but in a different way.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I don't see mirror hours anymore. I don't have goosebumps. I don't receive anything from my guide. I have a feeling that I'm not channeling anymore." But probably that today you don't have to have the feeling that you are channeling, because you have to be able to channel at any time.
Yeah. I think
And yeah,
there's just a lot of noise sometimes, right? We allow it in. And so if we don't take that time to step back, then the noise takes over in our head.
yeah.
And it sounds like maybe she needed you to guide her to that step back so she can
Yes, and
relax.
she realized that she's been guiding all the way. It was just not as fun as it used to be, and that's part of life as well. And she's at a very big position in a bank. So yeah, she's been working in the corporate world for her whole life. So I think who are everywhere. When you have goosebumps, it's woohoo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get that. And I think that's part of that intuitive hit, right? When you get the goosebumps and you're like, oh yeah, this is right. This is where I
Yeah.
want to.
Yes, or when you say, I can't smell it, I can't feel it, and all that is part of something intuitive or instinctive. I don't know. But
Mhm.
the thing is that for sure, when you feel calm, at peace, your intuition is here. And when your nervous systems or when you are stressed, for sure, the instinctive mode is back and is here to make you survive.
Yeah, yeah. I think that you hit the nail on the head there with the survive. I think sometimes if we are thinking about something that needs extra help, extra work, then our brain automatically goes to something easy. And that's when the noise starts coming in. So when you should be maybe working on something within, then and that is maybe a little bit more difficult. It needs growth, it stretches you, you feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Your brain says, oh, let's just do this instead, let's just go do this. And that noise just start, and if you allow it to, it will just keep spinning a little coil in
Yes.
there. And yeah, but when you're ready, it actually, that little coil that's in there will actually dissipate pretty easily. I feel. Maybe, how do you feel about that? Do you think it'll settle, or
I
do you think it needs time?
know it will settle and it will come back later. And when it's right, or when it's intuition talking, doesn't have to push, because intuition is sure of itself, and so it can wait. You
Yeah.
have your whole life to listen to your intuition and do what she advised. Let's say what it advised. So yes, um, what I can say, and I notice about me and my clients, is that when it's right, the information come in the most unexpected way and at the most unexpected time. So middle of the night, while driving, under the shower, Saturday morning when I was doing my laundry. So, and then I received it, and okay, I just write it down, just you know so that it doesn't start to loop or whatever, or my hamster wheel, it can be calm.
Yeah.
And then I can work, and it's a nice idea. It's something, it sounds like peace, or it's a nice taste, and so I can wait the next day or the afternoon to work on it.
Mm,
And it's okay. It doesn't push inside myself and urge me to act right now.
yeah. It's interesting. You said a couple of things. You said waking up in the middle of the night, driving, in the shower. Those are all like times when your body is more relaxed and
Yeah.
you are maybe focused on something else, sleeping, shower, driving, whatever. But your subconscious is saying, now here it is. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Because your, let's say, your logical mind is
Set aside.
dedicated to something else.
Yes.
And so the space is open to receive. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. That's amazing that I know a friend, she would get these amazing intuitive hits in the middle of the night all the time. And she said that rather than wake up and write in her journal, which she probably should have, she would take her journal and toss it on the ground next to her bed so that the next day, if she knew the journal was on the ground, she knew she had to spend a few minutes to reflect and think, what was it that I got in the middle of the night, so that
Uh,
she could go back. But kind of a funny, like, little, like, rather than get up and write in it, she's like just throwing it on the ground.
nice tip.
Yeah.
Yes, I trust when it comes in the middle of the night, it's more than I mid asleep. And when it comes, I trust that it will come later the next day or so. I ask, okay, now it's the middle of the night. I know that you can come later and at a better moment. So please let me sleep.
Yeah.
And usually it comes back in a different way or with more precisions or informations, and that's great, not to rush into it, and to give yourself a little bit space and time to allow more information to enhance it.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell people often that if I hear something once, sometimes it just sticks in my head. But then if I hear it 2 times, I pay attention. Usually 3 times, it's like the universe going, hey, I already
Yeah.
told you twice, do it now.
Yes.
It's
And and
true.
and and sometimes, because you said twice and 3 times, and sometimes it's synchronicities. It's not the inner voice or goosebumps or something else, or visions, or because it's been 1 year and a half, then I keep saying that I reaches the end of my story with LinkedIn and Instagram. I can't bear it anymore. But I didn't deleted my account because I don't know and whatever. And then I, at one point at the beginning of the year, I asked to have information, about okay, what I'm gonna do with those networks, because if it's just to put some advertising on it, it's not worth. So yeah. And 2 weeks ago, I received the notification about the algorithm update that is more, that will push more authentic content,
Yeah.
to make it short. And so I was, okay, here is something maybe for me, because I'm really about authentic content. So, and yeah. Okay, so it's aligned with my value. But I didn't rush into it and say, okay, I have to change my strategy and so on, and what I'm going to say tomorrow and so on. And then I think this morning, if I read, I was reading Amy Porterfield's newsletter, and she was talking about LinkedIn. I can't remember exactly what. And I said, okay, oh my God. Second thing about LinkedIn. Okay, there is really something with LinkedIn. So how am I gonna make the decision to invest more time and energy into it or not?
Yeah.
And it's not by rushing just right now. Maybe I'm gonna wait the third synchronicity or sign, or maybe I just want to come back in my inner alignment and feel if it feels true, right, aligned for me, and if it's the sign I was waiting to come back, to make my comeback on LinkedIn. So we'll wait. But here is, the it's a kind of synchronicities, I think.
Yeah. I feel like right now, LinkedIn is way more open to spiritual women and to other things. It used to be just corporate, right? And so now it's opened up quite a bit. And I feel like that's probably why it's being brought up more and more. And so many people have different feelings about Facebook and Instagram and threads and all those other ones that you can show TikTok. So I feel like um, LinkedIn is maybe Substack, LinkedIn more active, I think, for people than used to be. They're like coming back into fashion, so to speak. Yeah.
Yes, I think lately Substack, because I started Substack 1 year and a half ago, and it was less like Instagram. And now it seems like it's changing, and I feel like I want to protect this space, but I play the game too. So it's
Yeah.
really hard, not to, yes, really to keep your alignment, because, of course, you want to be seen and so on. So, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, well,
Yeah.
when you have a business, you do have to be in many places. Um, I always, I've started a couple businesses over my lifetime here, and I've always secured the names in the different places. And then whether or not I actually post there under them, at least my presence is there.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just easier to pick one or two platforms and just stick with it. there's no reason to be everywhere if you don't want to be. You
No,
know the staff
no.
for it. Yeah.
And I think that we don't have to believe that if we cancel our account, and I talk to myself here, um, I'm we are not, or I am not gonna lose something, because last year I think I published 3 posts on LinkedIn and it doesn't affect my business at all. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I have been posting weekly on LinkedIn, but the same post that I post on Facebook. I don't make anything different.
Okay.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know if that's the right or wrong way for my particular clients, but um, it's what I want to do, and I think that's important to listen to that, right? So
I love that you say that's what I want to do, or
yeah,
that's what I can do, or because you respect yourself, you respect your values, your energy, your time. And this morning I was just, okay, this is really great. Do I have to create new piece of content for LinkedIn? Deep, rich, authentic content, which is not copy paste from Substack or another one, to avoid duplicate content and so on. And oh my God, I was okay. I don't want to step into that reflection not right now. I don't want to work on my social media strategy. So we'll wait, and I wait for the next time.
yeah, yeah. I feel like there's seasons for that, right? I feel like there's seasons.
Yeah, yeah,
I will sometimes go through and I'll do a whole lot of social media posts and schedule them all out. And then I'll do a whole bunch of newsletter posts, schedule them all out.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't do them every week or every day. Like I just whenever I feel the calling, whenever I feel like, yeah, it's time for me to do that.
Yeah. So we were talking exactly about that with Iva, the previous life, and she said, yeah, when the energy is here, when I have idea, creativity, I batch some content, I schedule it, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if you are truly in alignment with the people that you want as clients, they will find you and they will reach out to you, whether or not that's your website, your email, your podcast, your newsletter, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your TikTok, wherever it might be. They'll find you and they'll reach out to you when it's ready for them too. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds so aligned.
Yeah. It is. It is. Yeah. It makes it a lot easier. It's like the old adage, like stepping back makes it don't keep pushing. Don't keep pushing because when you push, you are almost forcing it. But when you take a step back, no.
Yes, and the thing that, even if you really need clients right now, you cannot force them to sign or to buy or whatever, first of all. And the thing is that if you are acting from scarcity, they will feel it. So they
Yeah.
will not come. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You won't call them in if you are in need of it.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being in need and maybe the other way is maybe you won't call them in if you're in want of it, but if you're in need of it and you truly feel that way, maybe I'm getting the words mixed up, but there's definitely when you are down and out, it will happen if you need it to happen. But if you are just like, oh, my bank account is at zero and I need a client right now, and you're like all helter skelter, it is not going to happen. Not going to
No, for sure. And, I have my own company for 15 years now. So I have ups and downs,
happen. Yes.
and sometimes long, very long downs, to learn not to be in scarcity, to shift my perspective, to find inner security. And I think it's very important to, even if we are really in trouble financially or whatever, right now, at that second, you are safe. I am safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I paid my invoices. I have a roof over my head.
Yeah.
Basically I'm happy. I am healthy, and so on. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole nother topic because that's all about mindset.
Yeah. Yes, of course. And it's about the F chapter. And today it was
Yes.
about, yeah, inner voice, intuition, and so on, and self expression. And it was so great to spend this time with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have so thoroughly enjoyed talking to you today and previously on my podcast when you came on. Thank you for that as well. I love talking to you and best of luck with your book. I have been thoroughly enjoying it. So I have done my Amazon review, but I'll share
Yes.
it. I'll
Yes.
share it in my newsletter. So
Thanks a lot for your Amazon review. I saw it.
yes.
And can you tell our listeners where they can listen to your podcast?
Oh, yes. So you can listen on any platform, any podcasting platform, Apple, Spotify, or any of that. My podcast is called Podcasting for Your Spiritual Business. And if you needed a direct link, it is my website, kpcreativemedia.com/podcast. And that would be the easy way to get to it too.
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. Take
Thank
care of
you.
yourself
You too, guys.
and see you soon.
See you soon. Thanks so
Namaste.
much. All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.